Greetings, every pony, and welcome back to Pony Panels. Yeah, it's been a while. The comics, well, they're taking a lot more time to get out, thankfully. Seeing that the show is about to go on hiatus, it's a good time to get the comics out. The first of which being the latest Friends Forever comic, featuring Rarity and Maud Pie. Yes, from the gift of Maud Pie, you also get something in the main comic too, and now this. Interesting. Maud's become quite a little fixture over these last couple months in the Pony universe, and this comic is no exception. It's diaries. Really. It is. The entire story takes place over a diary writing from Rarity, in which Rarity exposits on one of her adventures that happens to include Maud, as she's off to the Eggs Convention, the Equestrian Gemological Society Convention. That's right, there's a convention in Equestria for rocks, or gems. Maud is of course there because, well, she's Maud. She's into rocks. It just so happens that a new cave formation has been found but not explored, and Maud wants to explore it, but she's got a rival in the form of a new pony appropriately named Buried Treasure, with a cutie mark to match. She is Maud's cave hunting rival, and it always seems that Maud does all the work and Buried Treasure gets all the credit. Something that Rarity angrily refuses to happen this time. They plan to beat Buried Treasure and her team to the cave first. And what is their reasoning for it? Because they're passionate about what they do. They care about what they like, and cave and gem hunting are what and Rarity do. And it's that passion to their work that will get them through it. But seemingly, in an almost comedy of errors, Buried Treasure throughout the comic seems to beat them there in every sense of the word. Why? 'Cause she got them bits. And she uses her rich status to buy up every form of transportation, or just to be a general roadblock in the way. But they won't be stopped. They won't relent. Meanwhile, Rarity, however, other than being angry over Buried Treasure for most of the comic, doesn't understand how Maud is feeling, or that she enjoys the help or anything. She has trouble expressing. And it really gets underneath Rarity. But near the end of the comic, they decide to exchange diaries. It's in this diary reading of the events of the comic that we find out Maud Pie's true thoughts, and how she truly feels about Rarity taking the time to help her get a leg up on her rival. And you discover she's rather grateful for it. In fact, very grateful for it. This gives an undue new perspective to Maud's character. That Maud isn't really dry, sarcastic humor, but she's rather unexpressive, unlike her sister Pinky, who's more outwardly expressive all of the time. You constantly know what's going on in Pinky's head. Even if you don't want to know, she tells everybody. Maud is the inverse. You don't really know what's going on in her head, but what is going on in her head is incredibly deep. And the diary section reflects it. They get to the cave first, naturally, due to Rarity and Maud's particular talents, and buried treasure not only gives up the ghost, but gives up being a treasure hunter altogether? That's rather odd. And Rarity leaves Maud to her discovery very happily. This comic succeeds because it branches off of a previous comic meeting and, of course, the gift of Maud Pie to build Rarity and Maud's relationship even further, showing that they have a lot in common with each other and just fit. Rarity's drive and passion is a massive influence for what Maud does in the comic, and she shows genuine like and appreciation for that drive. Although some of the expressionism in the comics is very, very Rarity-like, but even to the ideal, some of the expressionism is unbeknownst and amazing. The comic artist does a fine job expressing Rarity's anger and disdain towards buried treasure and her want, need, and drive to beat her. And also shows Maud's careful and inward demeanor to perfect effect. Although reading Maud Pie in words doesn't have the same effect as it would be if it was voice acted, which can take you out of the moment. But all in all, the character is perfectly expressed. Everything is given, and buried treasure acts just like a typical Indiana Jones type villain, or even you could say the first villain in the Uncharted video games, which this kind of oddly feels like, but it's executed to a much more simpler and strangely more comedic effect, which makes the comic not only a great character build blast to read, but having some clever funny jokes and references also adds in a lot of fun too. It's just a fun adventure, and the heroes of this comic are relatable, while the villain is just enough hateable. This is a great pairing, and the writers do a great job at showing and telling how this pairing works, and it's perfectly executed to a mass level with great drawing and great panel work, and a great moral too, about believing in your passion, but also finding the strength, although in different ways, to express how grateful having a friend and partner that believes in you can help you succeed at doing impossible things that you wouldn't think were possible on your own. That's why this comic gets my highest recommendation, a perfect 6 out of 6 and a must read. Especially if you're fans of Rarity and Maud, you'll love how they've treated these characters with massive respect and care, while also giving a great adventure arc as an individual comic. The drawing work is expertly done, and the moral, although subtle, is beautifully executed, and it grows depth on a character like Maud Pie, who we thought was pretty much dry, sarcastic humor. Now it's truly expressed as a character more inward than outward. A perfectly executed job, if I do say so myself. So, give this comic a read, and until the next Pony Panels, I am Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana, and thanks for watching.